Alrighty, today we're going to continue with the 6mm ARC. We're going to use the 87gr Vmax CFE223. Now I bought some of the light bullets here because we need to fire form all this brass. We are using our 6.5 grendel brass that we formed down, so these are fire forming loads. Seems like it turned out pretty well. I sized down about 55 pieces of 6.5 grendel brass and didn't have to throw any of them out. So today we're going to start out at 29.5 grains and work our way up to 30.4. Starting relatively low and working our way up, just because we don't know how things are going to respond in the grendel brass. Now these hit the lands in my rifle at about 2.15. Hornady list a cartridge overall length of 2.14, so that's what we're going to use today. Now I'm a little bit disappointed. I wish the throat in my rifle was just a little bit longer, because being a bolt action we could definitely stretch things out. Doesn't seem like we're going to be able to do a whole lot of that right now. Alright, so let's get out on the range and let's fire form some brass. Alright, we're out here on the range. This is my 22-inch Savage 110 Switchback. It's got a 22-inch barrel, 1 7.5 twist. It is mounted in an MDT XRS chassis. It's got an Athlon 6-24 August BTR Gen 2 optic. And we're shooting at 87gr Vmax from Hornady. Today was CFE223. So the gun is clean. It has 25 shots on it now. Starting to get the barrel broken a little bit. We're fire forming a bunch of brass with the 87gr Vmax. Target's at 100 yards, little bit of a breeze at my back. We're going to start low, work our way up. Now, I did just clean the gun this morning, so we may end up with a oil shot for the first shot, but I'm not too worried about that right now anyway, since we're really just trying to get a decent idea of how the gun's going to shoot and get the brass formed to start some real load development. The scope should be pretty well sighted in, but we'll go ahead and see if these shoot. These should start out around 2800, 2850 for velocity, according to Hornady's load data. So let's go ahead and see if they're going to shoot. Alright, 2750. A little low on our prediction there, but that's fine. Pretty decent group to start there. Our velocity did trend up, probably as the barrel warmed up. Let's see what our velocity looked like there. Alright, so that one we had 2774 average, 16.7 SD. So let's go ahead and move on up. Alright, a little bit of vertical stringing on that group there, but looks pretty good. Let's take a look at our velocity. Alright, so that one we had better velocity numbers, 2791 feet per second, average with a 9.7 SD. Okay, so the one thing nice about shooting 6 ARC is the barrel doesn't really heat up very quickly. So we're going to go ahead and shoot the next group. Guess I should have expected a little bit lower velocity considering today's a relatively cool day. It's probably in the mid-40s. CFE223 being a pretty temperature sensitive powder. So I've never really had any luck with CFE223. These are some of the better groups I've shot with it. So I'm kind of impressed, and velocity wasn't really all over the place either. So let's see how this next load groups. looks like a good 3-shot group so far. See if it holds together. Alright, we screwed it up there just a little bit. See what the last one does. Alright, looks like a really good group there. Starting to get a little bit of mirage off the barrel with those last 2 shots. Starting to dance around a little bit there, but I think that's a really good looking group, especially for brass for fire forming. Definitely the best group I've ever shot with CFE223. That one we had 28-21 average with an 11.2 SD. Good velocity, consistency, and numbers there. Now we're not really setting the world on fire for velocity here. I think we could probably get the heavier class bullets up to about this same velocity. But again, just fire forming, getting an idea how the gun's shooting so far. Really enjoying the 6R. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and shoot our last group here. Alright, and last one here. Alright. Actually looks like pretty good groups across the board. Now at these velocities, our brass reel looks fine. Primers are nice and round. Probably won't even throw up a picture of them there. They look just fine. And at our velocities, we're plenty low. Alright, so let's take a look at our velocity on that last 5-shot group. We were at 2861 feet per second with an 11.7 SD. So let's get over there and let's take a look at the target. Alright, so we're back at the bench here. Taking a look at the target, pretty happy with it overall. First load at 29.5 grains, we shot 2774 feet per second, 16.7 SD, and a 0.82 inch group. That did include a cold and oil shot. Moving on to 29.8 grains, we shot 2791 feet per second, 9.7 SD, and a 0.97 inch group. Threw that one kind of high, best upper group. Moving over to 30.1 grains, we shot 2821 feet per second, 11.2 SD, and a 0.57 inch group. Really good looking group. Now moving over to our last group of the day at 30.4 grains, we shot 2861 feet per second, 11.7 SD, and another 0.58 inch group. So really happy with the accuracy so far. For fire forming, good velocity across the board. 1 SD at 16.7, but everything else right around 10. So very happy with that, considering CFE223 has been a powder that I really didn't care for. So I don't know if the 6R's just good with some of those powders that didn't work in Grendel, but I guess we'll find out. Happy with the brass that I formed too. It looks fine. There's no pressure signs. Based on our velocities we got today, we could probably push up. Don't know if we're going to fool anymore with CFE223 or not. But we'll probably move over to another bullet to fire form the rest of my brass. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing, and we'll see you next week.